My Habitat story starts in the mid-90s. I was knee-deep in my career at that time. I had a lot going on, a couple of girls, putting money away for retirement, and hadn't done much volunteer work at that point in my life. And I was sitting in church one day. There was a call out for people who might be interested in volunteering at a Habitat build that our church was sponsoring. It sounded interesting to me. I'd heard a little bit about Habitat from a friend, and I thought, I want to try this. So I signed up, and on the day of, I threw my hammer in my trunk and drove up to what I think was Whitestown at the time for this build. I remember thinking on the way up, how possibly can a bunch of volunteers, different ones showing up all the time, actually build a house that will be standing 5 years later? I just didn't understand how volunteers could produce a really beautiful home. I think one of the things that's caused me to stay with all of this is that it grounds me. It gives me, it gets me out of my bubble here in Zionsville, and whenever I'm involved in Habitat, I'm reminded that there really is an affordable housing crisis or shortage in areas of our county, and that there are people who need those houses. And for some people, it's just a barrier or two that's keeping them from that part of the American dream. And what I love about Habitat is they're all about breaking down those barriers and building up those people to be able to get into a home. Yeah, I think my life story has been changed in a couple of ways that I can think of. For one, I met what has turned out to be what my kids call my BFF, a really good friend. Met him on what was called a blitz build, a Jimmy Carter blitz build back in the year 2000. And I got to know Brian really well, and found that we had lots in common, and he's become a lifelong friend. So I credit Habitat for giving me something I really hadn't expected, which was a really, really good friend. I think in other ways, I think Habitat has just tuned me into the importance of how fortunate I am, and how that really demands of me a generosity, of an attitude of being of giving where I can,